The wind rolled across the Westlove plains like a living thing, carrying dust, promise, and the ache of unfinished lives. And into that wind stepped the virgin bride, Myra Hawley, her boots worn thin from a journey she never asked for but chose anyway, her breath shallow as if the land itself had grown heavier with every mile. And when she whispered, "I am so tired, I can't walk," it was not weakness that spoke, but the honest fatigue of a woman who had carried hope farther than most dared. For Myra had crossed rivers that burned cold at dawn, slept beneath skies that offered no mercy, and learned that survival was not loud but patient. And waiting for her at the edge of that patience was Cole Ransom, the cowboy everyone in Westlove talked about in lowered voices. The man called insatiable not for desire alone, but for his hunger for work, for justice, for life itself. A man who rode until horses begged rest and still asked the horizon what else it had to give. And when Cole found Myra collapsed near the fence line of his spread, he did not reach for her like a conqueror, but knelt as if before something sacred, lifting her with care, carrying her as though the land were watching and judging the measure of his soul. And Westlove did watch, because nothing stayed secret there for long, especially not a marriage born from necessity and courage rather than ceremony, a marriage that began not with vows spoken in a church but with a promise, made in silence as Cole laid Myra down by the hearth and said only, "You're safe," words that weighed more than gold in a place where safety was earned by grit. And as days unfolded, Myra learned the rhythms of the ranch, the creak of leather at dawn, the way coffee tasted better when shared, the calm power of a man who worked until sunset and still found gentleness left for the evening end. Cole learned the quiet strength of a woman who rose despite pain, who listened more than she spoke, whose faith was not loud but unbreakable. And though the town whispered about the bride who could barely stand and the cowboy who never seemed to want rest, what they did not see was how restraint can be stronger than force, how respect can be deeper than desire, how two wounded lives can choose patience and grow whole together. And when storms came, and they did, with thunder that split the sky and rustlers who tested the borders, Myra stood at the window, steady now, holding a lantern that guided Cole home. And Cole returned each time, not driven by hunger but by belonging. And slowly the words "I can't walk" became "I will stand, and then I will ride," until one dawn Myra mounted beside her husband, the plains opening before them. And Westlove understood that this marriage was not about exhaustion or appetite but about endurance, about love forged where mercy meets strength. And if this story stirred something in you, if you believe in slow burn courage, in love that chooses respect over impulse, in Western tales that honor heart as much as grit, then don't let the trail end here. Subscribe to the channel Wild West Dairies for more powerful stories from the frontier, where every step forward is earned and every promise matters.